Hi, my name's Amy, and in today's tutorial, we're going to work on our core in the form of planks and push-ups. We're going to do it a few different ways for a few different levels, and as always, you can modify, make something easier or harder based on the spring tension, which I will note how to make that change to make the version easier or harder. So the general setup would be one yellow if you want to work fairly hard, blue if you want a little bit more stability with the machine providing you some more stability than what your core might be able to handle. And if you're in beast mode, you can go 0 springs, except for one of the variations where all of that will be the opposite. So in this variation, suggestion is one yellow or one light spring if you're on a different reformer than a balanced body, or one medium is going to be easier. And again, 0 springs in this one will be the hardest. Starting in a tabletop, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Kneeling abs facing front, hips, knees move back so the hips are in line with the shoulders. Arms move so you're in a fairly straight line. Arms bring you back in, then knees. I'll do just one more, a little more fluidly. And you can challenge yourself by holding that Superman. Bring the knees in. Taking the hands toward the foot bar, which I have lowered, I'm going to bring the knees a little bit closer to the front edge of the carriage, shift the weight forward so the chest is over the foot bar. I'll start with wide push-ups, which are generally easier, only lowering as much as you can handle without creating a back bend or a rounded spine or without lifting up the hips. Then when I want to make it a little harder, I'll bring my hands in shoulder width. Again, I'm going to shift forward more. In fact, I'm going to move my knees just a little bit farther forward. This is more like a yoga chaturanga push-up, elbows straight back like triceps. Again, only as much as you can handle without losing the elongated spine. I'll do just one more. And obviously, you can do as many as you like. The next version is actually easiest with 0 springs and harder with one light or even heavier. The heavier you go, the harder it will be. I'm going to go for no springs, make this a little easier on myself. I'm going to face toward the back. You can see the carriage is moving, so I have no springs to keep it in place. Knees right up against the shoulder blocks. I'm starting in tabletop, but that's not actually my start. I'm going to take my hands forward. So I'm about a foot away from my risers, and because of my tower, it's going to look like I'm going to hit that. Hopefully I won't. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up, and slide the body forward. So I'm starting with shoulders over wrists. That's generally the starting point. Notice I'm already having to use my abs, so I'm not back bending and sagging, and I'm also not piking up. So here I am, and I'm going to bend and straighten. Tuck it in and lengthen it out to plank. So I just did 3, and then I'm going to go straight into pike ups. I'm going to look at my knees, then lengthen out, look at the floor, pike it up. And for me, I could probably take my feet a little bit closer, work a little harder. So that's another variation. After a while, you'll need to roll out the wrists, and actually on this reformer, holding the side railing is a little bit challenging. I'm just floating away from my springs. Let's come into a harder variation. I'm going to put a red on. So that for me is a heavy, not the heaviest, but a heavy spring on my balanced body. And I'm going to lift the foot bar up to foot bar position. I'm going to come into a fairly challenging variation. If I want it very challenging, the hardest would be hands on top of the shoulder blocks, feet on the foot bar. If I want it a little bit less challenging, but still okay with the weight bearing on the wrists, hands here. And if I wanted to go onto forearms, in fact, maybe I will do forearms. It's not necessarily that it's much easier. You still have to have strong shoulders and be very stable in them, but it does give the wrists a break. And since I just did those, I'll start with my forearms. If I want it easier, the feet are at the platform, but I want it harder, so I'm going to go feet to the foot bar. I'm going to start in my plank, shoulders over elbows, long spine, abs in, and I'm going to slide those elbows forward and back. The farther forward, the harder it is, but I'm on a red spring, so I have a lot of help with the carriage. And I can also go into those bend and extend. So I'm just going to go into a few different variations without taking a break. And then my favorite is the piking up, looking at my feet, back to your plank, pike up, plank, pike up. And then when I want to get a little spicier, I'm going to go slide the arms forward, bend the knees in, pike up, all 3 together. Slide the arms forward, bend the knees in, and pike it up. Good. I could do this a few more times, but I think that's enough. I think you get the point. And I think the last one we'll do today is with a short box. So I'm going to go get my short box, and I'll meet you back here. I have my short box on, right up against the shoulder blocks. You can start right away with the feet right at the edge of the carriage, but it's also kind of fun to start in a chair pose. Hands onto the blocks, onto the box, shift the weight forward. I can pause here and hold it, but I can also add push-ups. I'm doing the harder, narrow elbows in push-up. Come back, chair pose. You could be on a yellow or a blue, a light or a medium. Again, I can shift forward, and now I'm going to slide my heels, take it into a side plank, bend and extend. You can always have hands at the hips, a little bit easier. And then you can also go right into the second side, bend and extend. You can do more than 2. I usually do anywhere from 3 to 6. Back to your plank, lower it down. And what I like even more, better to control it than what I just did, is forearms. Always a favorite for me. Bend and extend. And you can also pike it up. And you can also take it forward and back. And then if you notice what I did in the previous variation, this is now my break, my rest pose. I'm going to put them all together. Plank, I'm going to slide it forward first, bend and extend, pike it up, plank, and then I would take a rest. Repeat that pattern. I'm going to show you one last one I like. One forearm down, the other hand on the box or on the carriage. Shift the weight forward, heels to one side. Again, arm up, hand to the head, hand to the hip. Bend, extend. And then if you want to get fancy, you can pike it up. But when you pike up, you face forward and then back to the side. Same thing on the other side, but I'm not going to show that just for time. Don't want to bore you. Back into your rest pose and then come down. Pat yourself on the back for working hard. And I hope you enjoy this. Whew, I'm winded. So try any combination of these. Even if you just do 2 or 3 of each one, or pick 1 or 2 that look good for you, and see how you feel at the end. I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial on planks and push-ups, activating the core, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll see you next time.